Mastering the art of negotiation: how to close deals and make more money. Many individuals think that there must be a winner and a loser in any negotiation, because it is all or nothing. Nothing is more false than it is. Although getting what you want is undoubtedly the aim of negotiation, the best agreements, the ones that endure, incorporate terms and suggestions from both parties. This article will offer some strategies and advice that skilled negotiators use to achieve their goals. In almost any negotiation situation, these recommendations can be employed. Before any negotiations, an individual should consider their goals for the negotiating process before engaging in any formal negotiations. Therefore, it makes sense to write down particular objectives or desired results. Be positive. What in your transaction would you consider a home run? The opposing side might just agree to all of your demands to resolve this. The next step is for them to come up with several backup plans that they are confident in and would still close the deal. The goal is to have considered as many different possibilities as you can. Finding, or attempting to find, any potential holes in the position of the opposition should be the next step. For instance, it is important knowledge that can be used in negotiations. If one party in a real estate deal is aware that the other side must sell a specific property, or risk experiencing a liquidity crisis, finding your shortcomings is crucial. This is due to the possibility that a prepared party could use the other party's shortcomings to its advantage and win the negotiation. Help both sides more clearly define a possible area of middle ground, at the very least. Another pre-negotiation practice is to create a list of benefits that their proposal would have for the opposing side. Most people don't do this, but they should, to advance the cause and or find some common ground. It makes sense to bring up the major issues of this list during the actual negotiation with the counterparty. Again, using real estate as an example, one party, in this case a firm, can claim that its offer for a specific property is more advantageous than others, even though it is lower in dollars, since it is an all-cash offer as opposed to a riskier financing or a stock swap. The chances of closing the transaction rise when the negotiator clearly articulates the benefits to both sides. In person, each side should ideally state its goals and objectives from the beginning. This makes it possible for each negotiator to understand where the other is coming from. Additionally, it creates the framework for an interactive discussion. Each party may now provide its backup plans and counterproposals to reach an agreement. However, in addition to the initial exchange of proposals, there are other steps that negotiators can take to improve their prospects of winning the contract. As an illustration, consider body language analysis. Was your suggestion accepted? Direct eye contact and head nodding are indicative of success. Negative behaviors include crossing the arms across the chest, avoiding eye contact, or shaking the head subtly as if to indicate no. The next time you pose a question, pay close attention. You'll see that a person's body language frequently reveals a great deal about their underlying emotions. Here are a few pieces of advice. A party may indicate that they are open to a particular proposition by using ambiguous language or expressions. Pay particular attention to words like can, possibly, perhaps, maybe, or acceptable. Additionally, the use of expressions like looking forward to it or anxiously awaiting your reply may indicate that the party is excited and or confident that a deal will be achieved soon. See if you can combine some of the ideas included in the initial or counter proposal from the other party into your own, then quickly close the transaction. If reaching a compromise on a specific matter is not possible, suggest additional options that you believe would be agreeable to both parties. A more formal contract that reflects the agreements reached during the negotiation is necessary, too. To that aim, shortly after the discussion process is finished, have a lawyer prepare a formal contract, and make sure that everyone signs it on time. You can get through these impediments to concluding a commercial contract by using one of the 7 negotiation techniques listed below. Number 7. Struggle with the procedure. According to Harvard Law School professor Robert C. Bordone, we frequently struggle to reach agreements in discussions because we didn't establish a clear method up front. Before discussing the particular problems at stake or the specifics of your negotiations, talk about the negotiating process. What guidelines are necessary? Who will lead group discussions? When and what topics will you be talking about? In addition to facilitating more effective and streamlined negotiations, Bourdon claims that outlining the negotiation process can assist you to avoid making erroneous assumptions throughout your discussions. Number 6. Establish deadlines and benchmarks. Bourdon advises setting both short-term targets and a feasible yet ambitious final date when planning the negotiation process. What happens if you miss a deadline or a benchmark? Discuss openly whether a new timetable is required and how you might better move forward. As time runs out, negotiators frequently worry that they will make too many concessions. But keep in mind that the deadline also affects the other side. As a result, deadlines can encourage compromise and original thinking on both sides, according to research by University of California at Berkeley professor Don A. Moore. Number 5. Try an exit strategy. Guhan Subramanian, a professor at Harvard Business School and Harvard Law School, advises trying a shutdown maneuver if you think that a more enticing offer from a rival may make it difficult to close the business. For instance, you can request that the opposing party agree to a brief, exclusive negotiating window, like 1 week, during which they would promise not to consider proposals from your rivals. Expound on the special, non-financial benefits you can offer them, such as access to prestigious networks or a top-notch PR team, to encourage the other party to this type of shutdown move, referred to as such since it eliminates competition on your side of the table. Number 4. Enjoy a rest. Even if it seems paradoxical, delaying a discussion for a day, a week, or even longer could help you reach a faster agreement. You can relax from the frequently tense and stressful environment of business talks by taking a break. Additionally, it enables you to review your progress with your team and, if applicable, your supervisors. You can determine whether it makes sense to continue working toward concluding a business deal with the aid of this kind of analysis. Number 3. Involve a reliable outsider. Because one or both parties are hesitant to make their best offer, discussions can sometimes stagnate. If so, you might advise hiring a dependable, unbiased third party. Each side could discuss their position in private sessions with the third party. The latter could then inform you if a zone of probable agreement, or ZOPA, exists. If not, it's most likely time to go elsewhere. If so, you ought to be able to spot a deal right away, with or without the advisor's assistance. Number 2. Switch up the lineup. Consider hiring substitutes if you or your team is having trouble concluding a business agreement. A new team on one or both sides may be better equipped to approach the negotiation objectively, free from any emotional baggage or personality conflicts that might be preventing you from moving forward. Number 1. Establish a contingency agreement. In the end, you can consider the idea of a contingent contract, which is essentially a wager on which parties' future expectations will come true. For instance, advise putting in place a penalty for late completion, or an incentive for early or on-time completion if you think a remodeler will do a terrific job on your home but that his deadline is overly ambitious. He ought to be content to accept the contingency if he truly believes he can make his deadline. Such deal provisions permit parties to agree to disagree on important matters. A difficult process, closing a deal isn't always the wisest course of action. By adhering to our recommendations, you will be better able to determine whether a bargain is feasible and when you have to look into other possibilities. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.